Hey, turns out I'm alive and I still actually record content. We've got ourselves Illusionless Strife here, the second set of DIVINEZ. Super interesting set, which you wouldn't know from the box because it makes you think that the only things available here are Zorga and Liel, when there's like 4 brand new decks in here, as well as support for a lot of other decks. But in any case, let's jump into this. So let's go ahead and open this thing up. This set has been kind of interesting because for me personally, it's one of those sets that, as you know, has happened I think a couple of times. I'm just super excited for it initially, and due to the, you know, English release schedule, a bunch of things have come out in Japan since this set has come out now in English, and I'm kind of looking past it, unfortunately. But there's still a lot of crazy stuff in this set. So first things first, we have the return of the box topper promos. These are kind of interesting where they're not like insane bangers as the previous 2 or 3, but these are decent because they're reprints from shop promos that we've had in the past. So if you didn't get them back then, you can now get them super easy. Unfortunately, a lot of these are going to get reprinted in 2 weeks in Festival Collection, so it's kind of a weird decision, but we're going to get ourselves the Ezo promo card here, as well as the Friendship Fairy, who it kind of makes sense to reprint this to an extent because this was really expensive for no reason once they announced the Magnolia Elder, or just Magnolia Elder, I guess, specifically support. And then we got ourselves the Quintets collab in this set, which is a little frustrating because I've opened up a box before this and some sneak peek packs, and I keep getting a bunch of these damn girls. And this is nothing against them specifically or fans of them, but kind of don't want to see them right now. I kind of want to see other stuff. But in any case, every box comes with the starter for them. It's a bit annoying because this is a sort of like nationless card, so you can technically use this in any deck, but you only can get the effect of drawing if you went second if you're playing quintets, which is kind of silly. You know, I don't see the issue with this being just generic, where fans of quintets can play it in other decks. Like, oh no, they get to play something that's not the collab deck. What a tragedy that would be, huh? But we got ourselves here the actual packs here, with, you know, show whatever the hell his last name is on the box art with Vladimir, who is not even on the back of the box. Usually the back of the box has like all of the new decks and stuff, but they didn't even do that this time. They just got real low key and just went with only the faded ones, which is kind of funny. But he was like lined up to be the boogeyman, right? Everyone was really worried about Vladimir once he was announced and revealed. Everyone was trying to like quit the game because he's so broken, and then he came out. Turns out you can't just overreact as soon as something's revealed. But we're going to try something a little bit different here, because we're going to take all of these packs here and make it into this giant mega pack here, where we're just going to take a look at all of these cards in one fell swoop. So first up, we have here Drag Ritter of Flame Blade. Really weird name, guy. We're just gonna call him his original name, which is Graya. This is for a new deck called Gwyandra, which I'm really excited about, because essentially you have a grade 1 and a grade 2 from the ride line that you pull out whenever you are in main phase with the grade 3, and then the grade 2 can actually attack from the back row, and then you fuse them back together into their like fused up form, which is the art on the grade 3. So it's really cool. It's kind of like Luan to an extent, and I'm a big fan of Luan. Super cool new deck here, along with here the Rising Star, which I'm just going to call Virginia here, which is another new deck in this set. This one isn't as fleshed out because it's really just the ride deck and a order card, but this is actually from the Koto manga that we have right now in Vanguard, and there's actually going to be a standalone deck product that's come out in Japan that has a bunch of brand new cards specifically, well, somewhat specifically for this deck. Some of them are actually kind of generic, and it actually reprints the energy generator. So I'm hoping that comes out in English as well. Here's the grade 2, so this is Andra. So you take Graya and Andra and fuse them together. Super cool. Here's the grade 0. Here's the quintets. They are each in every nation except Lyrical. And the way that they work is that I think you get the deck focused on each of these specific quintets, right? And then all the cards is just them. And I think they each get an order, the ride line, and then they get a grade 2 unit that supports them. Each of the quick start deck bosses also got a supporting grade 1 here. I've talked about them in a couple of other videos here. But they each have 2 skills. They say whenever they boost, if at the end of the battle that it boosts, you retire it, or if they boost and some sort of effect that's specific to the quick start deck boss, so this one's for Astrom, the Brancate one, so if it resands a unit, you retire this, choose that quick start deck boss from your solar drop and put it on the bottom of your deck so you can continue persona writing, and then it has an additional skill after that. For this one, it is to countercharge, which that deck desperately needs. Here's the starter for Liel, which is one of my favorites, to be honest. It's a cute little angel. Then we got ourselves the Dance Way of Cylinder Blade Diana. Diana is really cool. Really cool common card for Keter because she says whenever another unit was placed from rear from deck this turn, she gets plus 10k. There's a bit of a typo because there's like a T there, unfortunately. But either way, really cool card because, I mean, that's all Keter, for the most part, does is play stuff from deck, right? So she'll always be a 10k attacker. Which is pretty cool. We got ourselves energy cards again. This one here is going to have Hikari from the future here. Spoiler, I guess, if you still haven't finished the anime. But for this time around, the energy cards, the backs of them are going to be Hikari, Masanori, Sho, and then Hikari, baby, present. I don't know. Another one of the quintets. Here's a random sort of Geneva support card here. We got ourselves the grade 1 support for Triumph Dragon. Here is another card for Andra, but I don't know if that really is going to see play. Here's a grade 2 for Virginia, which is actually both the grade 1 and grade 2 are actually generic, so you can play them in any Dragon Empire deck, and they're actually pretty good. So this one says whenever you ride a grade 3 over it, or any unit actually, you look at the top 7 and choose any grade 2 card and add it to your hand. But if you ride the specific grade 3 for this deck, you can choose any card. Or no, you choose your whole deck. Sorry, not top 7, you choose the whole deck for a grade 2. So, pretty cool. Ooh, we got ourselves a hit here. So I mixed up the hits a bit. So there's some in the front, some in the back. So this is going to be our SR, which is unfortunately going to be the Drag Ritter Dragrum here, who is a Eugene support card, as well as a Gandiva support card. So he says on place, if you have either Eugene or Gandiva, you can Soul Blast 1 and Energy Blast 3 to retire one opponent's rears, and if not, draw a card. And this guy gets, at the end of the battle that your Vanguard attacks, choose a front row rear guard and stand it. And also, if you play a normal order, it boosts. I feel like, in theory, this card is good. Whether or not it makes Eugene better is a completely different question. We're going to get here the Mind Hacker, which is another set of cards that share effect. So every one of the Divine's Faded One cards get a set of grade 1s that just get 5k and 5k shield. 5k attack and 5k shield. Maybe the... Now that I'm realizing the Diana plus, the T, maybe it was just the plus, but it just looked weird. Anyways, but they only get this buff if you have this specific Vanguard, right? Here's a really cool common normal order for Dragon Empire that says whenever your Vanguard restands, you can give all of your units in the front row 10k power. So, really solid card. This card kind of annoys the heck out of me. Almost as much as this Direful Doll, but it be what it be. We only got 2 cards of support for Direful Doll. It's a deck that I've been mainly playing here. Here's the super cool order for Virginia here, which gives your Vanguard massive power. Super cool. This is a pretty cool order in Lyrical, because you look at the top, you rest the rear guard, look at the top 3, call something, put the rest on the bottom of your deck. So, get a unit for relatively for free. This is the ride line for Bladmire, which was kind of generic, but it says when you ride this specific grade 2, look at the top 3, put all non-grade 0 units into your soul, and if you put 2 or more, you draw 1. Got some Solarian support. The Solarian support in this set is actually really good. I'm really hoping to play around with that a lot here. This one, not so much. We're going to get ourselves an FR of the Veleno Soldato Crisaidreca here, who is pretty cool card. So he says at the end of the turn, if you have 5 or more Veleno units, you counterblast 1, put this on the bottom of your deck, and you choose 2 Blitz orders from your drop and put them into your hand. So it allows you to get your Blitz orders back. Pretty good. This common order is not so good. You just put a bunch of normal units on the bottom of your deck and then draw a card. The grade 1 here for Virginia is pretty solid as well, because it says when you would ride, you can Soul Blast 1 instead. So pretty good. We've seen that. And ooh. Oh wow, we got a double hit, I guess. Wow, I actually got one of these on camera, because I was mentioning the other time that like you can actually get 2 SRs in a box. Wow, that looks really beautiful. So we actually got a double hit this time. So we've got the Dive to Blue Lycadas here, who is for the new Flame Glam. Interesting. They have the A here, but I think the cards themselves don't actually have the A. So we'll see if we see any of these cards. But that's kind of interesting. But yeah, all right. Here's a grade 2 for Bladmeyer, who does basically the same thing. Here's a grade 1 for Liel, who is one of the decks that was really, had a lot of hype going into it as the set was coming out, and then instantly fell flat on its face for whatever reason. I don't know why. It's not the craziest deck competitively, but even then, it did not end up seeing as much play as probably many players had hoped for. We got here another Veleno card. This one's not that great. Got a new ride line for Zorga. Perfect. And we got ourselves a quintet here. Here we go. Oh no, they do have the A. Okay. Whew, never mind. I think I saw somewhere where they just did not have the A, but it might have been on something else here. So we got ourselves here the new ride line. This is going to be the grade 2 of it. So this is the Flame Glam vert. The whole ride line has this archetype name of Flame Glam. End up just calling them Flame G girls. Super cool. Forget the grade 3, maybe we can go over it. But essentially what it does is that it lets you ride into your grade 0 from your ride deck to get an extra attack. So it's very interesting. Here's the Dark States Quick Start Deck Boss support card. Pretty good. Here's this super cute little lyrical card here. And got ourselves a rare that's actually not half bad. One of your Vanguards placed during battle phase, you can Energy Blast it to call us back in back row. So it's actually applicable in a lot of different decks in Cutter. This card is insane. So this is the Inspiring Archer Elenia here. So during your turn, if you do not have another copy of her, all of your grade 0 just get 5k. This is active on turn 1. So this is insane in Claudine. And I'm pretty sure pretty insane in Aurora. Right, because it just instantly gives everything a 5k boost. So that stacks with all the other effects that you do. So really cool. Wow. Then we got ourselves our double rare here in Compassionate Mechanic. So this is part of a new deck as well. This is for what is the sneak peek mat that I got under here, which is Rotovisor. So this is a sort of Nova Grappler-ish inspired deck that, much like Liel, had a lot of hype into it, but it ended up being kind of not the best, unfortunately, in its first appearance. But I have a lot of faith that it'll be pretty good afterwards. So this says, during your turn, if your order zone has 2 or more arenas, this unit gets 5k. So this focuses on using set orders. Of course, it's in Brancade, but they're called arenas, right? And then it just says, at the end of the battle, this unit attacked. If your Vanguard is greater or greater, and an arena in your order zone was rested for this battle, you Energy Blast 3, draw a card, choose one of your units, and it gets 5k power. End of the turn. Not the greatest card, to be honest. Wow. Then we've got this guy, who's basically Boba Mine 2. And a double rare here in the Assembled Dragon. So whenever this is placed, you Soul Blast 2, and you either search your deck for one set order that you already have in your order zone, put it to your hand, or if you have 3 with the same name, you countercharge 1. So very nice. Perfect. Oh, thank God. Oh yes, baby Jesus. We got ourselves a triple rare here. Our first, I believe, aside from like the quintets, is the Loving Pink Franchette, which is the absolute top dollar chase card for this set. It is the most expensive card, I think, flat out, in terms of like lowest rarity, base rarity, I should say. I think she's the most expensive card. Because she has 2 effects. The first one does not really matter, but it says when this unit is chosen by the effect of your grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Chris Rain in its card name, choose one of your Vanguards, she gets 10k power to the end of the turn. Then it says that when this unit attacks, if you have 3 or more units with different card names, this gets 5k. So super easy to achieve because it says units. So literally you just need one other rear guard because it'll be her, the Vanguard, and that one other rear guard. But if you play an additional unit after that with a different name, then you can, at the end of the battle that she attacks, you choose one of your other rear guards and return it to your hand. So you get super free, super easy to achieve bouncing in any lyrical deck. So glad I managed to pull that. One of the other decks I'm actually super psyched to play here is in Kyoka, who got a really good wave of support in this set. This card's pretty good here because she, one, gets boosts if you play a magazine, but also she can just flat out search for one of your magazines from deck. Which is really nice. Perfect. And then, ooh, we're going to get the Sword Saint of Itrat Idris here, who is going to be a triple rare. Is actually the support card for Liel. So it's a really good card for her, at least. So if you have another copy of this card in the bind zone, he gets plus 10k. And then if it was bound from rear, which is what Liel does, and you have Liel, you can Soul Blast 1, draw 1, and your Vanguard gets plus 5k to the end of the turn. So pretty cool. We got an Orpheus support card here, which isn't the greatest. And then we're going to get ourselves the grade 3 for the Virginia line, which is actually in rare. So it's super easy to build this deck if you just fill it up with like any staples here. So this actually says that act once per turn as the Vanguard, you can Energy Blast 3, choose an opponent's rear guard, and bind it. Then you choose a grade 2 or greater from, or sorry, no, grade 2 specifically from your drop and call it to rear. And then when it attacks, you counterblast 1 and choose one of your grade 2 rear guards and restand it. So really good in, you know, generic effect. The fact that it binds rear guards is also pretty strong. And it just calls something from drop. So actually a really good card that I feel like a lot of people are kind of just ignoring because it's not fully fleshed out on its own, but I feel like this card has insane potential. We're going to get ourselves another Quintet here. We're going to get one of those 5k cards I told you about. Going to get a new order for Zorga. It kind of sucks that it's locked to Zorga with the Divine Skill specifically. But pretty cool card. We're going to get ourselves a little cute little robot guy. Going to get one of the best starters, I think, in Dragon Empire, in my opinion, here, which is actually for Andra here. So this is the little dragon hatching from the egg. Going to get ourselves another energy card here, and it's going to be Masanori here. The gross Zorga guy. Then we got ourselves this card yet again. This yet again. We got ourselves some more Graya. We're going to get ourselves a Quintet. Sorry, I'm not going over any of the Quintets per se. I'm just a bit frustrated that I keep seeing them, so I'm just skipping over them. We're going to get the Marlene support card here, who is pretty decent. Actually, well, no, she's actually maybe not. Because you just choose, I don't know where this would be applicable. But she has the same generic effect where if something was returned to hand, you Soul Blast 1 and retire after she boosts it to take, you know, a card is the same as the Vanguard, put it from Solar Drop at the bottom of the deck. And then also, you can choose a card with the same card name as any of your grade 2 or greater units on board from your drop and put it into your hand, which is interesting to say the least. But I can't think of a deck that, or a card, right? Because it's only playable with Marlene. A card that you'd put in Marlene, but that's actually viable. And here's the grade 1 for the Flamejet Girls. One of my favorites of the 3 of them. This and the starter look really cool. Then we got ourselves here more Quintets here. Here's the grade 0, who's actually the main piece. Ironically, this is one of my favorite lyrical starters now. So this is the card that you would ride after the grade 3's effect to then attack again, and she gets like plus 2k for every card in both you and your opponent's damage zone. So fun little card, fun little deck. Here's the grade 1 for the ride line for Liel, and the grade 0 for Rotovisor. Gonna get ourselves another energy card here. It's gonna be base Yukari here. Not that Yukari's base, but just the normal Yukari. And then we're gonna get ourselves here a Rotovisor support card, which is, you know, it has a decent effect in that it lets you take one of your arenas from drop or damage zone, right? Because you desperately need to get as many arenas into the order zone, so they kind of have like early hero syndrome, but right now they can't do much. Here's a super disgusting new Zorga starter. He's just really pretty common from Keter. Whenever she's placed from deck, she gets plus 15k. So pretty cool. Here's a Cristianos, grade 1, who just says you draw a card. We got ourselves a crest for quintets, which they somewhat mainly focus on. So you can't ride any quintets. And this card is regarded as a memory. And then when a card other than quintets would be put into your memory, put into drop instead. So Soul Blast 1, look at the same number of cards from the top of your deck as your Vanguard's grade. To use up to 1 quintet from among them, put it into memory, put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. And then if you chose a unit card with the same card name as a card in your memory, you call it out to rear instead. So it's kind of like Arkwright, I guess, in a sense. Got ourselves Andra here. Got ourselves this super cool looking grade 3 with not the best effect. And then this really strange order here. Got the Sarazzle support card. I think we got one of each. Gonna get ourselves a show. So we got one of each of the energy cards, I believe. Freezing Wave. This is a really cool Blitz order in Brandgate. That says you Soul Blast 1, choose one of your units to be an attack, and it gets 10k attack until the end of the battle for each resting set order in your order zone. So super useful. Here's a supporting Flame G girl. Here is the Cavite Malia, which is for Vladimir. And this is super beautiful. Grade 3 untarnished gold silver S belt. Here I love this card in Kyoka. Very excited to get my hands on this. Here is of course another quintet. I feel like I have 3 of this one specifically. Little doll girl. This is the grade 2 from Rotovisor, grade 2 from Zorga. This is this interesting little blitz order that says you play with counter blast 1 and your unit being attacked gets 10k, but then your Vanguard gets the ability that whenever your opponent's front row unit restands, or if your opponent's unit was placed in the front row, your Vanguard gets 5k to the end of that turn. So kind of cool. A lot of people were losing their mind when this was revealed, but it's actually not as strong as you initially think. We got our first FR, I think, here. Yeah, because we got 2 SRs here. So we got our first FR here in the Obligator Dragon. So every nation got a Order Cycler, which is a grade 1 that says on place from hand. If you did not play any orders, you discard, choose an order from your drop, and put it into your drop, and it gets the ability that you can play it from your drop, and then at the end of the turn when you would play it, it goes onto the bottom of the deck, or as soon as you play it, it goes to the bottom of your deck. So super cool to get your hands on for any deck. Honestly, you never know when those things might become useful. Here is a double rare here for Dark States for Direful Dolls, but she's not the best. Direful Dolls Shelby here just says when she attacks a grade 3 or greater unit, put a Direful Doll from your drop into Soul, and she gets 5k for the end of that battle for each grade of the card you put into Soul, and then you bind her. And also, if she hits a grade 3 or greater Vanguard, you retire one of your opponent's units. So it doesn't give you too much value here. We're gonna get this cool little robot for Prison. We're gonna get this double rare here for Vladimir, who has a really cool effect who says you can on-play Soul Charge, or if you have Vladimir, you look at the top 2 instead, put 1 into your Soul. And also, if your Vladimir use its Divine Skill, essentially, you can retire it, draw 1, and then make it so when your opponent begins their turn, they have to discard a card from their hand, otherwise they cannot ride. The reason for this being that Vladimir's Divine Skill turns off all of your abilities from your Vanguard, but if you re-ride the Vanguard, it's nullified, right? You get your abilities back. And speaking of the devil himself, thankfully I managed to pull one of these, because this guy, it's one of the decks that I want to try and get, but I feel like it's going to be kind of expensive to get. But getting one of these is really nice. This is a Faded 1 of 0 Vladimir here. So he has 2 effects. One that says that when he attacks a Vanguard, you bind 2 or more cards from your Soul, up to 4 of them. Then you draw 1. If you bound 4, your opponent chooses 2 of their rear guards and binds them face down. And he gets 5k into the end of that battle for every 2 cards face down on your bind zone. So he gets pretty huge pretty quickly. But then his Divine Skill is really the part that really made everyone shit their pants for no reason, because he says at the beginning of your guard step, or the guard step I should say, of the battle this unit attacks, if you have 8 or more cards in your bind zone face down, this unit gets a critical to the end of that turn. It's interesting that it says may have, so if you don't want to give your opponent free damage, I guess you could not get the crit. But if you do, your opponent cannot call or play Sentinels from hand until the end of the turn. That's the part that I always thought was way too much overkill, but ended up being just fine, I think. But then you choose your opponent's Vanguards, and until the end of your opponent's next turn, all of your opponent, so the opponent, the actual player, and that unit that you selected, abilities are nullified. But if you Persona Ride or re-ride the Vanguard, you still get the effect back. If you Stride, you don't get the Stride effect of your original Grade 3 Vanguard, but if you re-ride, you do get the effect back. So, pretty nutso butso. Pretty cool looking card for Dark States here. And we're going to get ourselves some more Flame Juice support. We got ourselves a Ballad of My Own Someday Siska here, who's a really cool card. She just says, on place, if you do not have a copy of her, you get one of two things. Either one, if you have 4 or more units, you counterblast 1, draw 1, or you can Energy Blast 3 and give her 10k. So, pretty versatile. Wow. We're going to get the Energy Cycler here for Dragon Empire. Looks pretty cool. I have an SR of this that I pulled, and I really want to get more of her in SR because she looks really cool. And we're going to get the obligatory dragon here, but in regular. I'm going to get a interesting card here that says whenever she's boosted, you Soul Blast 1, give someone else boost. The Salvavor dragon is pretty cool because if something is in bind with the same name as any of your units, this guy gets plus 10k. And here's the arena card for a Rotovisor. It's actually called Nova Grapple Arena Urban City. So the plan is probably that we're going to get a bunch of new Nova Grappler, a bunch of new arenas later down the line. That'll make this deck a lot better. This one says, whenever your unit attacks, if you have a Rotovisor and another arena in your zone was not rested this battle, you can rest this card, choose one of the units that is attacking, and it gets, if the attack hits, you can either countercharge or energy charge at the end of that battle. So, interesting effect, to say the least. Ooh, nice. We're going to get ourselves a triple rare here, the Knight of Bowl Streaks Nibbles here. So this is a Raziel support card, but you can actually use the first effect in any other deck. So it says, when it is placed on rare by the grade 3 or greater Vanguard's ability, you get plus 10k. So that works for any deck, really. But specifically for Raziel, at the end of the battle that it attacked, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard Raziel in its card name, you Energy Blast 3 and put this into Soul, draw 1, look at the top card of your deck, put it on the top or bottom of your deck, so you can stack your crits to try and heal. We got the Others Order here, which is kind of whatever. Wow. And we're going to get the Storkea Order Cycler, which is one of the most important ones. We're going to get ourselves a Flagberg support card, which is interesting because it gives itself boost and puts itself into Soul. So I actually think this card is decent. We're going to get ourselves an Almajuster card. So Almajuster got one insane card in this set. That is the second chase card. But this card's okay. And then we're going to get ourselves the grade 2 for Gryandra. We're going to get ourselves the normal of the Soldier. And our last card here is going to be a Crow. Oh no, never mind. Wow. It's going to be another double rare Lascaris here. We got one of these. I think we got 3 of these. I think we got one of these in normal, and then we got another one in SR, but I don't actually remember now. But alright, not half bad. Not half bad. That is going to do it for this opening of Illusionless Strife. Sorry again for the fans of the quintets that I skipped over all of the cards. I will probably, when I have more time, look over them, and I might end up building some of them just because I keep goddamn getting them. But in any case, I hope you guys have the best of luck with your polls. I hope you guys are taking care of yourselves and each other, playing Vanguard, and having a damn good one.